it's in the disposition of things they will support Hamas because there is no moderate alternative.
There was the PA. The PA was more moderate than Hamas 100%, and then they were
I
elected by majority votes in 2006. Hamas then overthrew the PA, dragged them on motorcycles, threw them off of roofs, and they took power. From 2007 until
okay.
now, they have not held a
So
single
people
election.
elected them, but now there seems to be a tendency of people agreeing with Hamas, which means that either people have completely gotten upside down in their heads, or maybe just the situation has worsened in some way, not specifically and forcefully related to Israel, but has become less good in some way that made people change their mind.
I think this has nothing to do with the Israelis. I think it has to do with the Jews from an Islamic perspective. And I'll tell you why I think it's from an Islamic perspective.
Maybe not from Islamic, but traditional societies associated with Islamic perspectives.
The leaders of Hamas are scholars of Islam. The leaders of ISIS are scholars of Islam. The leaders of Hezbollah are scholars of Islam. The leaders of most terrorist organizations are scholars of Islam. Why is that the case? Are they interpreting it differently? Hey guys, just before we get to the video, please do me a favor. I'm trying to fight the algorithm and get my views back up. So if you can help me with this, I would really appreciate this. Just like the video, give it a comment, and watch the video for as long as you can. Thank you so much for helping and assisting. Back to the video.
That's mon avis.
How you doing, brother?
Hey,
You speak English?
Hmm?
You speak English?
I do.
Beautiful. What's your name?
Ayman, and you? What's your name?
My name is Sahar.
How do you say it?
Sahar. S-A-H-A-R.
Sahur. Okay. Does it mean like? Is it no? I was thinking about suhoor, but that's in Arabic. So.
No, Sahar means it's in Hebrew. It means crescent moon because I'm a triplet. I have a twin brother and a twin sister, and when I was in the womb, I was in the shape of a crescent moon. That's why they called me Sahar.
That's very nice. That's a very nice name. And you're from Israel, right?
I am from Israel. Yes.
Okay. I know only maybe 2 words in Hebrew, and that's wait, I need to remember. It was you eat ata ochel or at ochel. I don't remember, but like it was something like that.
Ata ochel means you eat.
Ata ochel, but it's for a woman or for a man. I don't remember. 2 ways to say it. I don't remember.
Who taught you that?
Actually, it was speaking with Israelis, so exchange a few words in French and in Hebrew, but I did not remember the other words correctly. But I would like to learn Hebrew one day.
Good. Yeah. Are you? Can I ask you for your religion? Are you Muslim by any chance?
With the beard, I think you can tell I'm Muslim. Yeah.
What do you think about the whole conflict that's happening at the moment? What do you think about the Israelis fighting against the Ummah, if I may ask?
I don't think they are fighting against the Ummah. I think like the main problem is that the people don't have the space to speak with each other as humans, and I don't think we're represented well enough from one side and from another. Such as right now we're having a normal conversation, and I'm not pointing a gun towards you, and you're not pointing a gun towards me. And I think you're Jewish. I'm not sure, but I'm Muslim, and we can just speak normally. I think the problem is that it's just about having a dialogue. I don't remember the word in English, but yeah,
exactly.
It's just I really think it's just about that. It may seem very simplest, a very simplest approach to the whole conflict, but I think if you don't speak with the other person, you won't really find an answer. That's why I would really like to learn Hebrew, even though I haven't managed to do anything now, because I want to understand the people that have different opinions too. And maybe if I do this step towards them, they will do the same with me. That's the hope I have. So
first of all, I like this approach, and I appreciate that you said this. But can I ask you an honest question? Answer as honestly as you can.
Tell me.
Which player in the region, and I'm talking about Israel, Gaza, Judea and Samaria, which player in the region, in your opinion, poses more risk to the other side? Because if the Israelis drop their weapons right now, we are going to be obliterated by Hamas, Islamic Jihad, PFLP, the PA, whatever. But if they drop their weapons, What reason do we have to invade Gaza? What reason do we have to invade some parts of Area A? What reasons do we have to invade Lebanon to reach Hezbollah? What reason do we have if they don't attack us?
I think you don't have a reason. Maybe you and your people, but the guys that are governing you may have one. It's just like in France, we did not really have a reason to get involved with what happened in Libya, but our president had, and he did nonsense with that. So it's not the same, the interest of the people and the interest of the people who govern. That's my take, actually. But it's not to deflect it. I really mean it, and I really think that it's this way. If you're asking about the threat that both sides happen to be to each other, I think quite obviously Israel is a big threat, because like you guys have nuclear weapons, and that's like the main argument.
Allegedly.
But if you, I think if you take it like, there's difference between saying you have the biggest weapons and I have the biggest aggressivity. It's not the same discussion, you know. So I don't know.
So
what's your take on the conflict?
You said something that I disagree with, and I want to say why I disagree with it. Because you said you specifically, you will not have a reason to attack, but your government will. Well, my government is the same government that offered to sign a peace deal in the year 2000. In the year 2006, they offered to sign a peace deal in 2008. They offered to do the Oslo Accords and agreed almost to every term. So to say that the government is not trying to go after peace would be a lie. I just think that the other side doesn't perceive peace as the resolution that they want. They, to me, as an Israeli, as an Israeli person who grew up in Israel, it seems like they will never recognize Israel as a Jewish state, no matter what happens. Yeah. That's why they will never accept a two-state solution, because accepting a two-state solution means that they have to accept a Jewish state. It will never happen. It will never happen from religious reasons.
I think I had a quite similar conversation with someone from Haifa, he was in the IDF, and it was really interesting. But he said pretty much the same thing that you did, with some nuances. But I think that honestly, I haven't been in the countries. I haven't been to your place and to Gaza also, so I cannot really know what's happening, and I only have informations that are given to me by the medias. I'm not quite sure about the the rectitude of those informations, but I think that with what I have, it doesn't seem like either sides are willing to are willing to settle. Either sides. I don't think the Hamas side wants to settle for something. I don't think the your government also wants to settle for something. And I agree. Maybe they have they gave this suggestion of a peace treaty, but also I think sometimes you can say, okay, I want to do peace on those terms, but in reality, you can just not really act accordingly to that. You know, that's what I think.
So, So, first of all, I just want to say before we continue,
because I need to charge my laptop. That's why I'm moving.
All good. I just want to say before we continue that I really respect the way this conversation is held in a respectful manner. I really appreciate it. It's not the usual thing that happens to me. So I just want to thank you for that. Even if we disagree at the end, perfectly fine. It's just the fact that we have a peaceful conversation that I appreciate, because it's way easier to exchange ideas this way. Just wanted to tell you.
Do not be too quick to assume things. Maybe I'll just grab some gun and begin shooting at you now. Now that I can show my true colors. Maybe now.
No, but if you do this, the only thing that will happen is your phone or laptop is going to get destroyed. That's the only thing that's going to happen.
Maybe I don't have the brain cells to understand this. But yeah, tell me. No, I actually am happy to have nice conversations. oftentimes people insult or don't even take the time to speak correctly. So yeah.
So,
Tell me.
okay, I want to say this. When we, understandably so, the government of Israel is refusing to try and find any solution right now with the leadership of either the PA or Gaza, which is currently Hamas, because they vowed to do the same attack that they did on October 7th again and again and again and again until the Jews are eradicated from the land. It comes from a religious perspective, not from a land perspective.
That I wasn't aware of, and I do not agree with the fact that wanting to eradicate Jews. That I obviously do not agree with that, but I was not aware of what you just informed me about.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff because listen, the what's portrayed on the media, on X, on YouTube is not normally what is happening on the ground. It's a specific narrative that is trying to be driven to people's minds, to make them, it's usually women, it's usually children, it's usually bloody scenes, it's whatever, destroyed buildings. It's to try and portray a different narrative, a specific narrative that it's Israel that's the villain and the Palestinians that are the victims. But if they would have not invaded Israel on October 7th, every single person in Gaza would have been alive today. If Hezbollah would not have fired rockets from Hezbollah from Lebanon to Israel, not a single person would be displaced from southern Lebanon. Same applies to the Houthis in Yemen. Every single thing has a reaction. Every action has a reaction.
Okay, but like from what I know, and I haven't, I cannot testify that I've seen it with my own eyes, but from what I have been informed, I know that there are precedents. There is not only the 7th October, and I say that very respectfully because I know if you lost someone or lost a family member or lost something at that time, it can be very hard to hear. It's not the beginning of something. Well, for some people it might be, but I mean, in a historical point of view, I would not agree, but I'm not informed enough. But I would not agree that it began on the 7th of October. I think it didn't, and it began much like a long time ago. But really, I think there are really two ways to address what's happening. Either you can go dig in the details, and whoever is gonna be more knowing about history and can prove to the other they are wrong, and you can hope to find something in the history to settle this. But I don't think that's the way it will happen. It will how to say, it would get more calm, I would say. And I don't think it's the way to go either. I think the way to go is really, it comes from the heart. I think that's what we should do, is really try to have a little bit more initiatives, one to another, speaking, trying to understand each other. Maybe have some Arabs learning Hebrew and some Hebrew, some Hebrew, how to say, some Jewish learning Arabic, and that's the way you can solve problems. Because when you see someone in the street, he won't ask you what happened in this year and this year and this year. If you want for your own culture, it's nice to know what happened, and maybe there is a big there is this person who's responsible, maybe this side is responsible. But if we want a better future now, that's the only thing I think we can do. And I agree with the fact that people who are extremists and who are dangerous, who want to eradicate other people, whether they come from one side or another, if it's not only for defense and they are saying really I want to eradicate people, those people should be taken aside and not taken into account. So,
but then you have you'll have no Palestinians left if you'll take them to the side, because the majority of Palestinians don't believe in the existence of a Jewish state.
I think, yeah, but it's not the same to say no Jewish state. Like, firstly, I think when you are in a complicated situation, you're going to ask me if I had a rough day, how I feel about something. I might say it's really not big of an argument, but I say it anyway. I might say something that I don't really think, as much as if you would ask someone in Israel today, what should we do to them? Maybe he will say something that he doesn't really mean. Like maybe he will say give them hell or whatever. I've heard people say that. maybe it's not really what he means. Maybe if he will meet tomorrow morning someone from Gaza and some children from Gaza, and maybe if the other person from Gaza who supports Hamas, maybe they will meet some Jewish people and understand and say, oh, those guy trust those guy believe in the unicity of God just like we do, maybe even closer than Christians. They are closer to us Jewish, maybe this is really what will change the thing. For me it's really complicated. You say now they are supporting Hamas and everything. I mean, it's in the disposition of things. They will support Hamas because there is no moderate alternative.
There was the PA. The PA was more moderate than Hamas 100%. And then they were elected by majority votes in 2006. Hamas then overthrew the PA, dragged them on motorcycles, threw them off of roofs, and they took power. From 2007 until now, they have not held a single election.
Elected them, but now there seems to be a tendency of people agreeing with Hamas, which means that either people have completely gotten upside down in their heads, or maybe just the situation has worsened in some way, not specifically and forcefully related to Israel, but has become less good in some way that made people change their mind. But that's not how they feel at the beginning. Maybe I'm just saying maybe.
So let me
think like, yeah.
Let me just tell you why I disagree with you. I think this has nothing to do with the Israelis. I think it has to do with the Jews from an Islamic perspective, and I'll tell you why I think it's from an Islamic perspective.
Before you say that, maybe not from Islamic, but traditional societies associated with Islamic perspectives. Because as someone who knows maybe a tiny bit about Islam, I really don't think there is a fundamental hate.
Hold on, let's hope that he comes back. Good.
So I don't think there is a hate in between us fundamentally, coming from you.
Not between you and me.
Not the people interpret
not between you and me.
I agree.
Not between you and me, that's for sure. But listen, the leaders of Hamas are scholars of Islam. The leaders of ISIS are scholars of Islam. The leaders of Hezbollah are scholars of Islam. The leaders of most terrorist organizations are scholars of Islam. Why is that the case? Are they interpreting it differently? Like, what's the reasoning behind this? Now, hold on, before you say anything, because I think you're very nice. Before Israel was a country in 1948, they attacked us. They attacked us between 1936 to 1939 in the Arab Revolt. They attacked us in the 1920s before Israel was a thing. They attacked us in the 1920s with the Jaffa riots. They attacked us in 1834 in the Safed looting. They attacked us in 1838 in the Safed looting, in the second Safed looting. They attacked us in 1517, way before Israel was a modern country. The Muslims attacked the Jews. Now, if you're telling me that this is about Israel and it's about the people, it's not. It's about a religious perspective that says it doesn't make sense that Judaism, as a din batil, as a cancelled religion in the eyes of Muslims, is thriving in the land. They are controlling our Al-Aqsa mosque. The Jews are prospering. They revive their language. Everything is not supposed to go this way according to Islam, because Islam is supposed to prevail over all other religions. That's why they keep attacking us. And I agree with you. It did not start on October 7th. It started way before October 7th. The hatred from the Islamic ideology towards Jews started way before 1948. Way before. Okay. Way before in Muslim countries such as Morocco, such as Algeria, such as Iraq, such as Yemen. Way before.
Okay. So I have quite a provocative question to ask, but I will ask it. Do you think I am a misguided Muslim and I misunderstood something because I speak nicely with you now?
I don't think you're a misguided Muslim. Are you allowed to ask questions in Islam to your sheikhs, to your imams?
You don't have to have it's how to say it correctly. Yes, you are allowed to question things in general, because blind following has been ruled over by different figures of Islam as something wrong. So you need to know what you're doing, if you get what I mean. But what I wanted to say is, like, am I misguided? Am I misunderstanding something?
Could be that you're interpreting it a different way.
What?
Could be that you're interpreting it a different way. I spoke to people. I
That's
spoke to
exactly what
people
I
who
mean.
only read the Quran. They don't listen to hadiths or any interpretations. They only follow the
Oh
Quran.
no, even reading the Quran. Okay, if I can I get into something a little bit more personal about myself?
Please,
Is it okay?
of course,
I
it's okay.
have in my life met a lot of people who interpret things in the Quran and in the tafsir and everything. So what's around the Quran, if I can say it like that, and they interpret it in some way, especially about women, for example, which I don't really get. Like I really don't get it at all, you know. And I just have thought all my life that maybe they just have their own envies and disguise it as religion, and it's maybe consciously or not, but it's very convenient for you to do that. Maybe they have some, just as maybe they have some hate for the Jews that they disguise in religion, when really you can say Banu Qurayza, you can say precedence with Jewish and Muslims, but you can also say that the hate in between Jewish and Muslims has always been much more of a cultural thing than a religious thing. That's my take. That's what I think. Exactly like the position of women and the view of women is often more something cultural that we want to see, so we disguise it into religion, much more than something that's really inside religion. You know, that's my take.
So you don't think that the hatred from Muslims to Jews is stemming from the religion? You think it's stemming from the cultural aspect?
Yeah, and it's also like it's stemming from the interpretations that you are making, not you, but I mean in general way. And I say that knowing the Banu Qurayza thing, knowing the whole story at the time of the Prophet with the Jews. So I say that all knowing that it's not something I just look over, you know. So yeah, that's my take.
So I think it is. I think it's purely religious, and Islam came up with a pretty problematic statement when Muhammad came to be, and they said that there can never be another prophet, never be another prophet. That means that if anybody dares to say that they have another prophet, or the Jews right now dare to say, "Hey, we have another prophet," that is pretty much a call for violence. Because there can never be, according to Islam, another prophet. And if
Yeah.
anybody dares to say anything that opposes what Islam says, it's a problem for
What
the
do you
religion.
mean by prophet? What do you mean by you have a new prophet? Do you mean someone who will come at the end of times and will do certain
No,
things?
I just gave a specific example because Islam said that Muhammad is the last living prophet, there like last living and dead prophet of any other religion. There can never be another prophet. I find it weird that in Islam, that specifically in all of the prophets, he's the only Muslim prophet, the only one that is Muslim. All the rest are Jews or Hebrews or Israelites. A bit bizarre. And if you're trying to be the prosperous religion that's trying to dominate the world with Islam and the Sharia, then that is also a pretty much an aggressive call for, hey, if you guys don't subjugate to us, then pay the jizya. If you don't pay the jizya, then we will fight you. That is a bit aggressive, and it does stem from a religious aspect, not a cultural aspect.
Okay, firstly about him being Arab and other prophets not being Arab. Um, from our perspective, prophets such as Hud and Salih were Arabs also. So
Hud?
there are
Who is
Arab
that?
prophets for us. Okay.
Who is Ud?
Uh, Hud was you can look in the Quran, like you say how to I don't know how to write it, but it's Hu and Dal. Like I know in Arabic, but for example, Salih is the one with the camel. You know, they killed the camel from Salih. You know,
Ud? Can you spell Ud for me?
Hud is Houd,
Houd.
and you have also Salih,
Is he
and
is he
they
a
were
prophet
Arab.
in is he a prophet that came from the Quran or a prophet that came from the Torah and Bible?
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. He is a prophet for us. So just to tell you that in our own view, there's not only if you type Arab prophets, which are the Arab prophets, you will see, because there is a whole thing about Ibrahim is not an Arab, and others are not Arabs also, Musa and everything. But if you type Arab prophets, you will find it. But those are Muslim sources. Yeah. Can you just repeat the last part of your objection? So
Yeah, I said
we
I
can.
said I disagree with the fact that it's a cultural thing and that it's a religious thing because of the jizya aspect that Islam needs to prevail over all other religions. And if I mean I'm talking about in a perfect Sharia world, if Islam does actually get to control the world, then if I don't follow your religion, I have to be subjugated to pay the jizya in a humiliating manner, according to the Quran, of course, and the tafsirs.
According to the Quran and the tafsirs, in the humiliating manner doesn't mean forcefully um, something shameful. It can be in the meaning that you are dominated, which is not forcefully shameful. Because, for example, I live in France, dominated by the principles here, and I'm not actually. I don't feel any shame about it, But that's maybe only personal. But to answer on
But
the fact,
in the Quran, it does say in subjugation. No, doesn't it say in the Quran in Surah 9:29, you have to pay the jizya in subjugation?
the Arabic term, from what I know, maybe I'm mistaken, but the Arabic term has this meaning of you are dominated, but it's not like humiliation like you would hear it today, as in you're being humiliated, like you being how to say, with a condescending aspect,
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like that, from what I know. Okay, and
Continue.
those are tafsirs that exist too. So. But to address it, the jizya actually would happen to be in this ideal Islamic world that you described, would happen to be very interesting for you to pay, because it would pretty much be less than zakat, so it would be less than what Muslims would have to pay. So I get it, and I had this discussion with a friend of mine who's not Muslim, but I get it, the whole argument about jizya, but you would still pay less than someone who's Muslim. So I mean,
In
it's
in
way
in
not bad.
do you know who Al-Shayazri is? Al-Shayazri?
How do you write it?
I'll spell it for you.
Because I may have the Arabic, but not the.
Shayazari.
If you're saying about Shirazi and all those, I think those are like.
Shayzari. That's Al-Shayzari.
Yeah, those guys are Shiites, I think. No.
She's? I don't know if they are. I can just tell you what they said in regards to the jizya. It says if the
Well,
if the
that wouldn't be my what I follow, but I can hear you. Yeah, tell me.
okay, because you claim they're Shias. I'll check if they're Shias after, but it says this: if the mutasib or his agent come to collect the jizya, he should stand in front of the dhimmi, which is the second-class citizen, slap him on the side of the neck, and say, "Pay the jizya, unbeliever." The dhimmi will take the money from his pocket and pay it with humility and submission. That is according to him how you should collect the jizya. Now I don't know if he's Shia or Sunni. I can check.
No, but that wouldn't. Oh, I think he's Shia, but that wouldn't even be like the main point, because you would find probably Sunnis that would say the same type of things, but that's not in the Quran. Honestly, it's like I told you, this room for interpretation is a blessing, but if people use it unwisely, then someone will say today humiliatingly, they will go and they will in fact do things that are not appropriate, and be transgressors themselves, because they wanted to disguise it as religion. And I agree that this is not normal, but what I'm saying is that in this ideal Islamic world that you described earlier, there would not be such like, I'm hitting you, give me the money. No, this is not the way of doing things. But that's my take. again.
Right now, of course, it's not going to take place. But I don't know. I think we're seeing in modern times, we're seeing a lot of issues with Islamists all around the world. And I'm saying Islamists as people who believe in political. I don't know if you believe in political Islam and if you believe that Islam should take place or govern all other governments and that the laws of Allah should be the ones dictating what should happen and what should not happen. But we're seeing around the world a ridiculous amount of terrorist activities happening on behalf of the religion. Now, if you say it's their interpretation, I really don't care that it's their interpretation. It's killing people. What do we do with those people?
Well, you find Muslims that think differently, and you ask their own problems. But there are layers to that, because if you say, for
I think he froze. Maybe he'll come back. Just a sec. He got stuck, guys, unfortunately.
If you'd like to watch more of my stuff, please check out my channel down below. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that notification button so you can be notified every time I upload new content. If you'd like to support me and the channel financially, you can do that using Buy Me Coffee or Patreon down in the links below. Also, we now have a Discord that you can join down in the link below. And now you can become a YouTube member and enjoy specific YouTube perks. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.